Hi everyone. Good evening. No Adosh, I'm just starting the class today. I was late because of some reason I was unable to get the link and everything. So therefore I'm late, but my bad. Let's get this show on the road. I hope I'm audible and visible, guys. Can you see me and hear me? If I am, can you give me a quick yes? Am I audible? Am I visible? And by now, I hope you've already hit the like button. If you haven't, then can you do that just now? Also, once you've hit the like button, can you also share the session with your friends so that everyone can join in? Do remember to like, share, and also subscribe because, of course, this is very, very important. We must make sure that everybody subscribed so that you can participate in the chat box. Hi, Kartike. All right, I'm so happy to have all of you in the session. Let's get started. Let's get the show on the road. All right, here's your first passage. Let's do this. Let's read it. So in 1952, John Cage shocked audiences by staging 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. His composition 433 was an attempt to make nothing audible. It was inspired in part by Robert Rauschenberg's white paintings, entirely white canvases that work as blank screens to register shifting shadows and reflections and project them as art. The canvas is never empty, says Cage, quoting Rauschenberg, and 433 bears that out. As random ambient sound, coughing, shifting, programs rustling become a kind of music. These works illustrate the impossibility of saying nothing. To represent nothing is to negate it by turning it into something. An image, a piece of music, a reflection of or on movement, time, and change. Now, Cage explores this conundrum is a puzzle, huh? Okay, na? In his lecture on nothing in 1959, the essay includes this self-refuting statement. Self-refuting means something that rejects itself. I have nothing to say and I'm saying it, and that is poetry as I need it. What a beautiful passage this is, guys. I hope all of you have read this part of the passage. Can I take you to the next part? Yeah, I'm going to the next page now. Here you are, your second part to the passage. Like the negative space against which words become visible, void means an empty space, huh? Emphasized in Cage's original typography, nothing generates speech and the speaker, poetry, and the I who needs it. The Scottish poet Edwin Morgan develops this idea in his hypnotic sonnet, Opening the Cage, 1966, which offers 14 variations of Cage's 14-word sentences. For Morgan, as for Cage, saying nothing is a paradoxical gesture of creative and even existential affirmation. Poetry is saying I have it and I am nothing, and to say that. And that nothing is poetry I'm saying, and I have to say it. Saying poetry is nothing, and to that I say I am and have it. Very interesting, huh? Is there a way to speak or even to think of nothing without making it something? Betraying its character, betraying means cheating, as non-existent. The idea of nothing pushes at the limits of thought and language, demanding new modes of analysis and expression. Moreover means additionally, if nothing is something, that would seem to complicate the definition of something as an entity that exists, that really exists in the world. And if it is not something, then what is it? A paradoxical question if there ever was one. More than just a linguistic puzzle. Linguistic puzzle is something that is to do with words. The idea that nothing exists challenges our understanding of existence itself and spurs more nuanced theories of reality. So you understand more delicate theories of reality. To speak of nothing raises questions about everything. One can see why philosophers and artists alike have been drawn to it. So that's your passage, guys. I hope you have read it. Let's come to the question. What central theme does the passage primarily explore? The challenges of representing nothingness through various artistic forms, the importance of silence in musical compositions by John Cage, Robert Rauschenberg's influence on mid-20th century art, or is it the technical construction of Cage's 433 as a musical piece? Come on, guys, let's get some answers in. All right, Kartikeya has given me an answer. Okay, Kartikeya, let me get the other people also. Everyone else, let's get some answers from you all also. Okay, Manu says A also. Others? Waiting for your answers. Okay, Kashvi says B is the answer. Okay, I'm waiting. All right, let's take a look at this passage. So the passage was not talking about Robert Rauschenberg. That was just one part of the passage. So I can eliminate C. It was also not a technical construction of 433. So I will eliminate D also. Now it's only A and B that we are talking about. But A says the challenge of representing nothingness through various artistic forms. And B says of musical composition. Now, if you have noticed, the passage has also spoken about poetry, right? So therefore, it cannot be just musical compositions. So B is incomplete, and therefore it cannot be the right answer, right? So I'll eliminate that. So best answer will be option number A. Okay. All right. I hope you got that. Let's look at the second question. What can be inferred about the relationship between nothing and something as discussed in the passage? Nothing can only be understood through its opposition to something. Nothing is easily separable from something in both language and thought. Something is a simpler concept than nothing in philosophical inquiry. And nothing and something are mutually exclusive and do not overlap. Kashmi will go back to the previous question, okay? In just a second. Okay. Question 2. Kartikeya says A. Kashmi says B. Manu says B. All right, let's take a look at this. So the passage spoke about nothing and something, and that both can be easily identified and separated, and that's why B is the correct answer. Nothing can only be understood through its opposition to something was incorrect. Something is a simpler concept, but that's not the relationship that we have understood from the passage. And that they're mutually exclusive also we did not pick up. So the best answer here was B. Now, if you go to option number A, the idea is nobody is challenging anyone, but how do you represent nothingness? So the challenge or the question was, can I represent nothingness in some way? And that challenge was being displayed. Nobody is challenging anyone here. Okay. All right. Can we go to question number 3? Which of the following is true according to the passage? That Cage's 433 was inspired solely by musical silence tradition. That Rauschenberg's white painting functioned as an active art by reflecting ambient changes. That Edwin Morgan disagreed with Cage about the paradox of saying nothing. Or the passage views Cage's lecture on nothing as denying the existence of poetry. All right. Come on, guys. Kartikeya says B is the correct answer. Kashvi also says B is the correct answer. Manu also says B is the correct answer. And Adoksh also says B is the correct answer. Well, you guys are all right. B is the correct answer. It was inspired solely by musical silence tradition, I can't say. Okay. And neither can I talk about the other two. So the best answer here was option number B. All right, let's look at question number 4. In the phrase self-refuting statement, what does self-refuting mean? A statement that contradicts itself, a statement that is beautifully crafted, a statement that's universally accepted, or a statement that clarifies another's meaning. Which of these will be the correct answer? All right, Kashvi says A, Kartikeya says A, Manu says A. I'm waiting for more answers. Come on, guys. The correct answer here is option number A, a statement that contradicts itself. And so, yes, you did all get this one right. What is the tone of the passage? Is it satirical and humorous? Is it causal? casual and conversational? Is it analytical and contemplative? Is it descriptive and narrative? Come on, guys, let's do this. All right, I'm waiting. I'm getting D from a lot of you. Adoksh has given me C. Manu has given me C. Well, the correct answer here, guys, was C, analytical and contemplative. It is thinking about what the passage is saying. Okay. It is not satirical, therefore, I'll eliminate it. It is not casual and conversational. The idea is we're trying to analyze and think about what is this something and nothing, right? Descriptive, yes, but not narrative here. It's not a story that we are telling, and that's why narrative doesn't work. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. Which assumption underlies the discussion about the impossibility of saying or thinking nothing? मेरा काम All right. So I'm getting answers from you all. Okay. So Kartikeya says A, Kashvi says A, Manu also says A. And yes, the correct answer is absolutely A, that language inherently transforms ideas into something concrete, even if there is nothing. So here was something where there was nothing, but still there was some sort of a translation that was happening. So language will transform ideas into something concrete. Silence is equivalent. No, art must always, remember, always is an extreme word. So no, that philosophical questions about nothing are unsolvable. That's also incorrect. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next question. All right. Here's passage number 2. Let's do this. All right. I hope you've been counting what is your score. Please keep that in mind. Okay. Whatever you have got. Here's the second passage. I will not speak about this one. You read it on your own. I've read the first one. This one you read and solve. This is such a beautiful passage. It talks about how evolution is happening and how people are able to imagine things that were not even existing at the time that they were alive, right? I'm now going to take you to the second part of the passage. And again, I'm not speaking, you do it. Again, this is such a lovely passage that we have, guys, isn't it? How we are able to edit genes and everything. Okay, let me now take you to the questions. I hope everybody's read the passage. Let's go to the questions. Oh, there's a third part also. Sorry. Look at this last line, isn't it so wonderful? The best we can do for nature is to leave it alone. Who will decide which animals to edit and which genes to edit and what to do? It's a very tough question, right? Okay, let's now come to the first question. Which option best captures the passage's central argument? What is the main idea of the passage? Is it A, that reviving extinct megafauna through DNA splicing is the most promising ecological remedy? Linking ancient hybrid imaginings to today's gene editing, asking whether directing evolution is justified given ecological and ethical constraints. CRISPR will resolve climate and biodiversity crisis once governments permit wide deployment, or leaving nature untouched is the only responsible course of action given corporate overreach and ecological complexity. All right, here you are. Okay, Kartikeya says B. Kashvi says B. Manu also says B, guys. Yes, B is the correct answer here. You are linking ancient hybrid imaginings to today's gene editing and asking whether you can direct evolution. All right, let's look at question number 2. The author begins with the discovery of lion man primarily to illustrate how early humans artistically depicted predators they feared, contrasting imagination with survival instinct, trace the historical evolution of tool making that culminated in modern genetic instruments like CRISPR-Cas9, establish humanity's long-standing impulse to create beyond natural boundaries, framing gene editing as its modern counterpart, or emphasize how archaeological discoveries often precede major scientific revolutions in technology and biology. Let's do this. Okay, so I've started getting my answers. Kartikeya says C is the answer. Kashvi says A is the answer. Mano says B is the answer. Well, to this question, the correct answer is C. That you establish. Why does he talk about this lion man? Because he's connecting this desire to create something that is unnatural. And then gene editing being the modern counterpart of that. So yes. All right. Author stands towards assisted evolution is best characterized as unqualified advocacy, conditional support, principled opposition, neutral reportage. Take a minute and solve this question. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this one. The correct answer is B, conditional support, which is contingent on technical reliability and governance that avoids corporate capture. It's not unqualified advocacy. It is not opposition to any human intervention. And it is not neutral. He is given his opinion. So therefore, all right, what is the term chimeric? What does that mean? Question number 4, what is chimeric? Chimera is an imaginary creature, right? So what is chimeric? Is it a hybrid composition from disparate biological sources, illusory fabrication with no physical correlate, rapidly mutating form lacking stable traits, or is it symbolic archetype representing collective imagination? Yes, this one is correctly. Option number A, it's a hybrid composition from disparate biological sources. So you get a head from somewhere, body from someone, arms from someone, legs from someone, ears from someone, and that becomes a chimera. Okay, it's a hybrid composition. The lion man is an example of that. All right, question number 5. Which evidence would most strengthen the case for assisted evolution in the passage? So if you're talking of assisted evolution, which of these will work as a good option? Right? Tell me. Opinion surveys showing strong global public support for synthetic biology projects. Long-term field trials demonstrating edited corals persist and integrate without disrupting reef symbiosis. A lab demonstration that single gene edits succeed in aquaria for one coral species. Philosophical treatise arguing humans have a duty to steward other species. Clearly here the correct answer, yes, is B. That if I have an example that some reef is like that, then it will be easier for us to accept that. All right, question number 6. Which finding would most undermine the feasibility of transgenic rescue as described? How can you rescue someone through this transgenic phase? Some edited plants underperform in isolated tests. Corporations seek broader patents on domesticated genomes, increasing monopolies in agricultural biotech. Several reefs recover naturally. And polygenic context-dependent traits make single gene edit fail to produce reliable survival gains in the wild. So now we are saying that transgenic rescue would not work. So option number D is the best option here, guys. That's the only one that says that, yes, the single gene edits will fail and therefore it will not work. Okay. All right. One very quick announcement from my end. CLAT Sprint, the English batch, your fast track to NLUs at 15,000 is available. Mentors of AI are 1, 3, and 8. Siddharth Mehta, Manoj Davrani, and Priyanka Singh will be taking this batch. 5 concept classes. Batches have started. Do join in. 5 high impact classes, daily GK power hour, and 44 full length mocks. Please enroll. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm here. All right, guys, that brings me to the end of this session. Thank you so much. I hope you have found this session to be useful. I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place. That means Thursdays, 5:30 p.m. Guys, please be here. We'll cover 2 more passages till CLAT. We're going to be doing this, right? Remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.